Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. I hope you're well. Happy New Year. I hope you had a lovely festive season. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of you that watched last year and supported me. I've reached a significant amount of subscribers for my little studio. It's in the country in Victoria. And so I feel so blessed to have you here. And if you are a regular watcher and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. My next goal is to reach 1,500 subscribers. I know it's just a number, but it's just something that I'd like to achieve. And it doesn't feel that long ago I was celebrating reaching 500 of you. So for everybody who's here, you're much appreciated. Thanks for being here. I have a fantastic year ahead planned to share with you all about my art practice and hopefully help and support you in yours. I have over the break taught myself how to do the subtitling on the vlog. So there is now subtitles available in the top 10 languages. I did a search and it said these are the top 10 used languages on the internet and on YouTube. So I've now added those subtitles in those languages. So bonjour, hola, ciao, and lots more that I won't do damage to any more languages by saying hello. But yeah, just know that there is lots of subtitles there. And if there's not one there and it would be helpful for you to have your language subtitled, please reach out and let me know and I'm happy to put that up. It is just an automated thing, of course, so yeah, I hope it's close enough to what I'm saying. So Christmas gifts, I got a lovely voucher for Christmas and I'm yet to spend any of that. I'm trying to be reserved. It also helped that my local art supply shop that the voucher is from has been closed over the Christmas period, so that's probably more why I haven't spent anything on it yet. I also got this. I've adored these from afar for a long time. They are from Iron Orchid Designs. They do furniture, stencils and kind of like wallpapering and things like that. And so it was such a pleasant surprise to open this. I haven't had a go yet because I wanted to show you all first. And there needs to be a bit of preparation done before you use it, so I'll run you through that. It's basically a raised, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. I'll talk more about it as I go to use it, but it's a kind of rubbery stencil that you can ink or put paint over and use it as a stencil. So a bit more like a stamp actually than a stencil. So this is the roses stamp, and it's lovely. Of course, you know I love my florals. The Iron Orchid Designs have heaps of videos on YouTube, so if you're interested in learning more about what they do, very professional, pretty pricey product, but really super quality. The other thing I did do before Christmas, and it's interesting to note, this unbleached titanium in the acrylic paint that I use, I have it in the oil version. This is an Australian company. And I had read that the titanium buff, and I think I've also mentioned on the channel that if you can't get the unbleached titanium, that the titanium buff is close. So out of interest, and because I'm wanting to get more into the oils, or a bit more into the oils this year, I wanted to try this Gamlin brand. It comes highly rated, and one of my favorite artists swears by this. I think his best friend actually owns the company, but he swears there's no bias. He said he uses it because it's absolutely a beautiful product. So I'm really happy to have one of those in my collection, and I've just got this on here to prompt me that it's a warm opaque. I'll talk more about all of that when I talk to you about the oils. So yeah, titanium buff and unbleached titanium surprisingly look completely different to the acrylic version. So this is the unbleached titanium in acrylic, this is the Gamblin titanium buff, and this is the unbleached titanium in the Langridge. So the oils are very, very different to the acrylic colour, quite similar, but interestingly different to each other. So when I've said to you the titanium buff is similar to unbleached titanium, similar, not a exact replacement. The last vlog of the year I talked about doing some brainstorming or mind mapping, as a few of you in the comments reminded me of what it's actually called to do. So on my list I'd written that I wanted to do some more encaustics this year, and so I've been playing around with those already. I'm sure I'll show you in more detail as the year goes on, but I just cut up some little 4x5 bits of cardboard and I've coated those in the encaustic wax, and then I've just been playing around doing little landscape sketches and references. This one's probably my favourite so far, and I chose to do them 4x5 because this painting here in acrylic that I've been working on, oh, there's a fridge in the way. This acrylic, painting acrylic that you would have seen me working on late last year, really struggling with it, and over the break I've fallen out of love with it, and I was trying to figure out why don't I like this. It's got my new favourite colour palette on there, Why Aren't I in Love? And I've realised that the canvas is slightly out of square. I've realised that I enjoy working on a 4:5 ratio. So that means that I'll put the guide on the screen. I've really enjoyed working on the 1620s. This canvas here, I have stretched it. I've done a few paintings on this stretcher and haven't liked any of them. And I think it's because now this is a little bit too, the ratio is, it's a little bit too long that it is deep. I'll just get a ruler and show you. And I was referencing this sketch I did. This is an A2 sheet, so not in the 4:5 ratio, but closer than what this canvas is. And if I line that up, you might be able to see, the angle isn't great, but there's much more canvas this side than there is that. You can see this. So if I put that on the edge and bring the ruler up through the corner of that, you might be able to see, if I can just wedge that, the ruler only comes to this point here. So there is this much more canvas of the ratio than this one, which doesn't really matter. I'm not doing it, gridding it up and doing it exact, but when I'm referencing, it's out by this much. And I feel as I'm painting it, I can feel I've got too much. For me visually, and how I'm moving the paint around, this is an extra bit. This stretcher is a weird shape for me. In the shop I thought it'd be a really nice shape, but it turns out I've had quite a few paintings I've stretched up onto these stretcher bars, and as you can see I've stretched it up again and I'm trying again, and I think it's because of the ratio of that extra size there. So something interesting to think about when you're, bring this up, when you're working, perhaps you've got a sketch or something you've done in a visual diary and then you're wanting to scale that up, particularly if you're gridding it and trying to do it pretty exact. These ratios are going to play around with you, so being aware of that will help you size anything up that you're wanting to do. So that's why I've got my little 4:5 reference, and I've gone in on my sketchbook and I've gridded up a whole lot of 4:5 rectangles. They're not squares, rectangles, so I can, when I'm playing around and sketching, I can have that ratio in mind, and going forward now I know particularly what size canvases I will probably buy with my voucher. So this vlog's jumping around a little bit for the first one for the year. I haven't been in here much. This is my first proper day, so forgive me, I'm just getting back into the swing. Perhaps you're finding that too after a break over Christmas, that you're finding it hard to get back into the flow, and just relax. It's very normal and very natural for that to happen, and don't panic, it will come back. Just spend some time in your space with your supplies, shuffle them around, do a bit of a clean up. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to necessarily create anything or certainly finish anything. Just gently move back into your space and your practice, and your creativity and the buzz will return. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next week. Bye.